Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I have a lot of wonderful updates to share with you, a lot of things to celebrate, a lot of things to be happy about. First of all, the way this works, if you have a comment or a question, I will read it. Just type it into the comment section. And I am just thrilled for a few reasons. I just want to get into it today. So the first things I want to share some updates about filming. And I'm very happy to say that we just did our last film shoot. Yay! So we're about ready to move into the post-production editing phase. That being said, we are definitely, have some leeway if there's something that we have to film. But we have filmed so many reunited erased families, and each have their own story, but there's so many things in common. And their stories are not only going to help people learn what works in this hard road to reuniting with an erased child, but also it's going to inspire our erased children to reach out to their family members and say, hey, mom, hey, dad, let's talk, let's sit down, let's have a cup of coffee, and let's see if we can, get on a bridge to having a relationship. So that's been like really exciting. And then the other thing I want to share, and I don't really know how to share this on Facebook, but the screen sharing is that the producer of Erasing Family, who's based in Argentina, Gabriel Balanovsky, reunited with his daughter after 13 years of zero contact. By zero, I mean no emails, no Facebook, no phone calls, no social media. He knew where she lived, but that was about it. And he has really been applying a lot of the lessons that we have been sharing on these video feeds, which is to really stay positive. And a lot of parents are obsessed with telling people the truth or letting the child know what the other parent did to the child, how they damaged that relationship. First of all, the kids know in their heart what's going on. You don't have to tell them the truth. You don't have to say the other parent is not a good parent, right? It's completely unnecessary because they know they have to live with them, right? And also, what's interesting in his daughter's case is there's a lot of things that she still believed about him that was, put in her brain by her mother, but that did not stop her from having a relationship and begin to form a relationship with her father and her father's family. So it's not that the truth will set you free, love will set you free, and the truth can follow, doesn't always follow. And only recently has she said that she'd like to see, learn a little more about what happened to her childhood, why she was unable to see her dad. But at first it's just happiness. And he didn't bother to correct her. After a few meetings together, he asked her what she heard, what she thought of him. But it wasn't the first thing. So you got to let go of that desire to correct, that desire to be right. And I just want to ask, because if there's any questions or comments, please, let's get started. This is not going to be a really long video. And the other things I want to talk about is that we've been dealing with a lot of kids who've been adopted by step-parents, and we want to show the world how easy it is to erase a biological parent, a mom or a dad, through step-parent adoption, and how this needs to be looked at differently. A lot of people don't realize, that when you do have a step-parent adoption, the birth certificate is a change. You don't get an adoption certificate, you get a birth certificate with that person's, information on there as the person who gave birth to you. And so I just got a comment from Richard Johnson. I'm living that truth now. It is very hard. My son just reached out to me. Congratulations. Kids, that's so wonderful, Richard. And how old is your son, Richard? Can you tell me how old he is? And how long it's been since you haven't seen each other or spoken to each other. If you could just add that to the comment, that would be great. Anyone else want to have a comment? It's very hard, and interviewing parents who are reunited, it's not always this bed of roses. It's not always that everything is perfect. A lot of times it's accepting that to have a relationship with your child, there's certain things that you can't talk about, at least not right away. There's a lot of stories that you can't correct. And that can be very hard. I mean, it can be very painful to know that there are things that they believe about you and you will never, or it might take a very long time for them to be ready to hear the truth. And I talked to one mom who reunited with her son, and what she said was, you know, it's almost, there are certain things that she could say, and she has proof of, that would change the way her son views her, that she didn't abandon him. But she can't. He's not ready, and she doesn't know if it would really help him to talk about these things. Any other comments? Questions? Well, I just want to thank all of our supporters. Wow, I just got one. Regina Marie Delvin Valentino, after 38 years, my husband reunited with his mom and her side of the family. Wow, please have him share his story on our page. What, and I would love to know what the inciting incident was with your husband. Why, after 38 years, like what changed between year 37 and year 38? Sometimes these things are coincidences and things out of our control, but I would love to know what caused him to reunite after 38 years of no contact. That's an amazing story, and congratulations. So what strikes me with talking to so many people about this issue, about going through this, is that inciting incident, that reason why you reach out, is often chance, it's often circumstance. But you as a parent have to be ready to embrace that chance and circumstance when it comes along. You never know what's going to come along. So Richard Johnson, any more comments about your son and how your son just reached out to you? Regina Marie, if you want to add a little more about your husband's story, that would be great. So to recap, for those who joined late, we are getting very close to the end of filming the documentary, which is super exciting. We're going to enter the editing phase soon. And we have been interviewing tons of reunited erased families, learning from them, and hopefully inspiring other kids to reunite. And a lot of people say, I want to be in your film, what can I do? Go to erasingfamily.org, click on share your story, and you can upload a video right now. It's a video tribute to you and your children. You can upload as many videos as you want, and you can also take a survey, and we'll be selecting some of them for our film. So please take advantage of that. If you want to learn more about the film, if you want to donate to our film fund, which is tax deductible, you can also go to erasingfamily.org. Wow, so Regina Marie, I stepped in and reached out to her, got her story, and helped them to rebuild their relationship. Yay for you, that's wonderful. That is so great. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times it's an outside influence, and it's an outside idea of somebody, saying, why don't you have a relationship? That's weird. You should try. Did anything really bad happen? And prodding a little, and then also offering to accompany that person. A lot of people don't want to go alone. That's one thing I keep on hearing with the kids. They always want to bring a friend. Let them bring a friend. Let them bring 10. Be opening and welcoming with all of your heart. So if I don't have any more questions or comments, we'll be ending the chat early. But really, if you want to share your story, please go to erasingfamily.org, and you can share your story. You can send a video tribute. You can send 10 video tributes. You can do one a day. Get every person in your family to send a tribute. Hello, Cynthia Alamo. Oh, Christy Beck just joined. Hi, Christy. There's so many things that you can do. And also visiting our website, you can make a tax-deductible donation to help us finish our film fund. We're also looking for people who can donate airline miles. It's a great tax write-off because you can write off the full value of a ticket. It helps our crew get to places without actually having to spend the film fund on it. So that's wonderful. And Regina Marie says, it's because of what's happening in my life that I knew what to do. He was told to just stop coming around. It never sounded right to me. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say, well, it's a shame that my parent didn't love me. It's a shame about this. And it's like, well, do you really know that? Have you actually reached out to them? I've been talking to kids who say, I've never met my father, and he didn't want to be involved. Do you really know that he didn't want to be involved? Maybe he didn't. But maybe he did, and there's no way to know. Richard Johnson, many times mental illness is the reason for parental alienation. Very true, and I actually had a lawyer who said something interesting to me. He said, if you end up in a custody battle, if you end up in a courtroom to settle your divorce and your custody disputes, one of the two parties, and not both, suffer from a mental illness. Because if you are a normal parent, you will find the way to mediate and work out. But it's only when people are very entrenched and they want to win and they hold on to kids' possessions do they turn to the family court system. So very true. One thing is that we're trying to get away from the term parental alienation, and there's a reason why. It is hindering kids from reuniting. Because when they hear that their parent has been a victim of parental alienation, they say, oh, well, you're blaming the other parent. That's why we're trying to get people to say erased by the family courts. Even if it wasn't exactly what happened in your case, put the blame on the family courts. Don't put it on the other parent. Kathleen Nolan, I've been more in contact with my 26-year-old son recently. He's constantly upset with me, and I always feel like I'm walking on eggshells. It's very true. It's a lot of times you have to walk on eggshells. Try to build as much as you can from happiness, from love, from looking forward. And a lot of kids, I interviewed one kid where it was very clear that the alienating parent provided them with a lot of fun and resources and always laughs. And the person who was erased, they were always, they always wanted to talk about the emotions and the feelings and what was going on and how to repair things. And the kid naturally kind of chose the fun stuff. That's not everyone's case, but, try as much as you can, even if it's like, look, there's some stuff that we need to work out. We can work it out, or we can set it aside and just enjoy our company for now. And if we ever want to return to it, we can. But I don't know what else I can do to help right now. So if you want to go to therapy, talk to me or whatever, we can do that. But if not, let's just focus on positive things right now. Let's just have fun. Let's do activities together. Let's go out to dinner. Let's, to go for a walk. Susie Farrell Roberts, my daughter has reached out to her husband's father so that he may have a relationship with her son, his grandson, because her son's father has tried to alienate from the grandparents because of animosity. Well, that's great. It's always important to reach out. We regret not having relationships. It's very rare that we regret having them. And they're often not perfect, and sometimes they can't be as close as we'd like, but it's identity. And I always tell kids, when they're like, my parents are really awful, I know from experience that only by having a relationship with my parents was I able to really begin to work on myself and not repeat their mistakes. And if you run away from it, you're almost doomed to repeat their mistakes. And so many kids I've talked to who have had a parent erased, when you look at their family tree, it's like if you're an erased parent and you have kids, it's very likely that either your kid will be erased from their kids or they will do the erasing because that's what they've been taught. So even if it's not a great relationship, even if there's a lot of problems, knowing your story and your identity is the only way to move forward and to begin to solve it. Any other questions or comments? I'm in kind of a weird mood today just because today is the last day for filing 1099s, and I have been up all night trying to locate people's W-9s because I'm a brilliant filmmaker, not to toot my own horn. I'm a lousy accountant. Don't ever hire me to do your accounting. Kathleen Nolan, I had a bad relationship with my mother. Who hasn't? So many, it's like we all have. I think it's probably more common to have a bad relationship than a good relationship. I was talking to someone, she goes through a support group for dysfunctional children, dysfunctional families. I'm like, who goes to this? Everybody? I'm not trying to be flippant about this, but we often have negative relationships. I remember I was in this group therapy in Argentina a long time ago. And the thing that the therapist said to us was, we got into, partners, we partnered up, and he said, pretend that the other person's your mother and just say anything that you wanted to say to her but have not been able to say to this point. 2 people in the room were okay. 2 people had a nervous breakdown, and the rest, including myself, were just crying. And it wasn't telling your mother off. I mean, you could just say, I love you, Mom, never said how much I enjoy your cooking, but everybody, was just kind of in a state of emotional shock. And it was just telling your mother something that you never told her. And the majority of people obviously have a tough relationship, because it's a tough relationship. It's built on love and setting limits. And, you know, at one point as a kid, you realize your parent was just a kid like you. So if there aren't any other comments or questions, just to recap for those who joined late, we're getting very close to finishing the film because we've had our last film shoot, fingers crossed, and we might have to do some more filming. But, you know, as of right now, we're pretty much done with the filming part. We still have a long road of editing and post-production. We really are looking to get an award-winning editor on board so the film can get, you know, in front of as many audiences, get as much press as possible. And if you want to tell your story and be a part of the film, go to erasingfamily.org, click on share your story, upload a video, upload 5, get your whole family to upload them. And you can also make a tax-deductible donation at erasingfamily.org. And we appreciate so much the people who share their reunification stories on Facebook, who share their photos. And I'm always open to talk to reunited kids. So thank you so much for joining. Today was a short one. Been a very busy day for me, but thank you so much for all who come and listen. And every day another family reunites, and we just want to get that up from 1 a day, you know, whatever the statistic is, you know, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 a day, because there's so many kids out there that really need to have both parents in their lives. They need to know that it's not about picking sides. It's not about choosing. It's about opening your heart to love, accepting the family that you have, and learning to accept them so you can grow from it and not run away, not erase. Lots of love. See you next week, same time, same place. Bye.